Goodbye. My first love. And my last.
Hey guys, it's DVD Gamer Girl here. Welcome back to my channel. So ever since I made that ranking Baldur's Gate 3 breakups video, I've been thinking about doing one at the very end of the game, so basically at the epilogue, and try to break up with the characters there instead of mid-game and see if their reactions are more dramatic. This time I'm not going to be tier listing them. I don't know, something about tier listing them is very hard because they're all so different from each other, and I feel like they convey like very different emotions. So instead I'm going to like go through each of the breakups and kind of just talk through like how I feel about them rather than ranking them. So I did break up with each and every character in Endgame for this video, and I was feeling very depressed afterwards because some of these are like really sad breakups. So let's start with Shadowheart.
Last night was perfect. Though I couldn't help lying there thinking about my parents before you stirred. Sorry. Thought I'd catch you in the afterglow. I gave them the release they asked for. Freed myself from Shah's grasp just as they wished for. But there's moments where I think I'd trade that to be able to see them again. Talk to them again. There's so much only they could have told me. But that's all gone now. I've got to move on. Find some place for myself. I think so. Yes. It's just up to me to recognize it when it's in front of me. I don't know exactly what lies ahead for me, but at least now I can choose my own path. With you at my side, if you wish. I see. Well, if you change your mind, I'll keep myself easy to find.
I find the breakup with Shadowheart really kind of heartless and sad, actually. Like, she was just talking about how her parents are dead and she feels like she needs to find her place in life. And she kind of implies that as long as she has you by her side, like, she'll be happy to explore her life, basically. And then you just say, well, we need to go our separate ways. And just like the way she reacts is so sweet too, just saying like, oh, I'll stay close by in case you change your mind. So it just, you know, like she basically is so in love with you and she's basically willing to wait for you. And just breaking up with her in this moment just feels really cruel and unforgiving after everything you guys have gone through together. And she's pretty lonely right now. I mean, she turned her back on Shar and her parents did die in the process, etc. So I just feel like, you know, she really needs the emotional support right now and you just don't give it to her. I mean, this breakup honestly makes me feel sad more than anything else, and I feel really bad for her. Next, let's look at Astarion, and I'm just doing Spawn Astarion in this one.
Hello, darling. I was just thinking about freedom. We've dealt with a parasite, and you dealt with Cazador. I'll never be in someone's power again. And all it cost was my life in the sun. Now I belong to the shadows. So, what happens next?
What? Now? After all this? How dare you? After all I've done for you, after everything I've sacrificed.
But fine. If that's what you want, so be it. There are thousands of vampires spawn in the Underdark, just waiting for a leader. I'll find them. I wish you well out there. Just don't come knocking on my door. I'll have a lot of hungry mouths to feed. It is a pity. We were rather good together. I'll never forget it. Goodbye, darling. And good luck.
Astarion's reaction to the breakup is definitely more like angry, and he definitely seems very caught off guard by the breakup. He's just like, how would you break up with me now after everything we've been through together and everything I've sacrificed, etc. Because he is probably feeling very vulnerable, particularly now because the tadpole is gone and now he can't even be in the sun anymore. So he's probably thinking about what to do with his life next and was hoping that you would be sticking by his side through everything. But I guess the thought of you leaving makes him realize that he's completely alone. So he's a little bit, miffed about it, obviously, which is completely valid of him. But, you do see that he cares about you because he says, like, we were really good together and I won't forget that. But he does feel upset by the breakup, clearly. So this does also make me feel bad. I mean, even though he's kind of has a more angry, volatile reaction than Shadowheart, I feel like that's very realistic. I feel like if you feel blindsided by a breakup, of course you're gonna lash out. Whereas Shadowheart's almost felt like a little bit too calm for me. I like Astarion's sass. And just how much he does seem to care about you. I know with Halsin, you're technically not together, but you can choose to end even your polyamorous type relationship here. So let's watch that one.
When we joined battle for the last time, I did not want to presume we would survive. To feel your touch again seemed like a distant dream. That made last night all the sweeter. Because I am, at least for now. Part of me wishes we could stay in this room forever, you and I. But there is a new dawn breaking. And I have a part to play. I wish we'd been afforded more time together, but there is so much to do in the wake of the Absolute's defeat, and precious few hands with which to do it. The wars of late have left many with nowhere to turn. Many lost their families, their homes. Some never had them to begin with. They need help. Help that this city cannot provide right now. I shall aid them to make a new place for themselves. In Thaniel's realm, under nature's watch. Now is the time for us to take care of each other. Already people are gathering to depart. The promise of a new life inspires great haste. At last count, there were 9 whole wagons of children in tow. They are my duty now. Daddy Halsin, they call me. Who am I to tell them otherwise? Better than Archdruid ever did. The old teachings could not have foreseen this world. I can see a new way to serve nature now. A path that all can follow if they wish. You must visit as soon as you can. There will be much for you to see, and not a soul among our numbers who will not wish to praise the savior of Baldur's Gate. And well, I shall have my own selfish reasons for wanting to see you again, if you wish the same. I see. After all my years of living, I know all too well that nothing lasts forever. Yet, a parting can sting, nonetheless. But that just means what we shared was precious, and will live on in my memory. Thank you. I am a richer man for having met you.
Halsin's breakup is very chill, very mature. I mean, he was always open anyways. You were never solely committed to him. So he does kind of have this view that nothing lasts forever, and he already knows that in his long lifetime. And he still appreciates the time that he had with you, and those will be cherished moments for him. So I feel like he's very sweet. I mean, obviously he's very calm about the breakup, because it's really not a breakup per se, so much as just telling him that you don't want to see him romantically anymore. So his is very accepting, and I do like how mature he is about it, but it doesn't give very emotional vibes, I guess. It's more just like, well, it was nice while it lasted, and then he just moves on. Okay, next let's look at Gale.
It's curious. After all the wonders and monstrosities we've witnessed, waking beside you seems more unreal than any of it. I've forgotten what it felt like to greet a sunrise without fear of it being my last. I think we'll have plenty of time to do just that. It's strange, but somehow I woke up this morning and realized the orb feels different. No clamor, no desperation, no hunger. I hesitate to say it, but I think it's satisfied. I'll need to keep a careful study of it, make sure it's not suddenly destabilized by proximity to a rogue pair of neathery sandals or what have you. But I think it's dormant. That's one worry I can leave behind me at least. It could be. Or perhaps the orb's hunger was fueled by my own, and my contentment influences it in much the same way. That's how I feel with you. Content. It's a rather unfamiliar feeling, I must say. Not something Gale of Waterdeep ever craved. You're now in the company of plain old Gale Decarius, a most brilliant wizard of intentionally limited renown. At your service. Now, I believe this is the moment where I should get to my point, so to speak. I love you. More than I've ever loved anyone, mortal or immortal. And you've proven your love for me in more ways than even the greatest mathematicians would dare to count. That being said, I wondered if you might consider accompanying me back to Waterdeep as a new member of the Decarius clan. I see. Well, I've no desire to stand in the way of the future you've chosen. If our love ends here, it was no less perfect for its brevity. I will remember it. And you. Always.
Gale's breakup feels a little bit weird to me. Like, it feels a little out of character for him. I feel like he's almost a little bit too nonchalant about it. I mean, I like what he says in terms of, you know, our love is no less perfect because of its brevity and he'll always cherish it type of thing. But considering the fact that he basically asked you to marry him and accompany him back to Waterdeep, it just feels very mild of a reaction for you basically not only turning down his proposal, but saying that you want to part ways and go your own way. So, I don't know, like, I feel like, you know, maybe he's just not showing his emotions in this moment, but considering how emotional and reassuring Gale has been up until this point, and even right before, you know, like, he asks you to go to Waterdeep with him, he says, you know, I love you more than I've ever loved anyone. So it just seems so nonchalant. I don't really know how to feel about it. I don't really like that breakup. I feel like it should have been more emotional. Even if he's hiding his feelings in the moment, I feel like it should have made it more obvious a little bit. I don't know. It just feels very not Gale. Like, it's almost like similar in emotional intensity to Halsin's, and I don't know. It's just a little bit weird to me. Okay, next let's watch Karlach. And with Karlach, I mean, if you're romancing her, you can't really break up with her at the end per se. The closest to breaking up with her is basically not going to Avernus with her and letting her die. I mean, she doesn't really realize that's an option of you going to Avernus with her, I guess, unless you mention it, but anyways, let me just play the clip of what I think is the closest to breaking up with Karlach at the end of the game.
We did it, soldier. The city's going to be all right. And so are you. Engine's finally cooked. Held on just long enough. So, how'd I do? For you. And for the city, and for myself, and blah blah. But most of all, for you. Careful! Hot! How'd I do? Spectacular! Ah, it's the one thing I can't beat, isn't it? Same below as above. I love you. You more than anything. I saw. Oh, God! Goodbye, son. Goodbye, sea. Goodbye. I'm ready. I stand back. I'm going to.
Also, I'm so sorry that the only clip I have is with this modded skeleton race. It was just like, oh my god, like, I was dying when watching this scene because, like, the skeleton race is so bugged, so it looks like there's just zero emotion. But anyways, in Karlach's, I love how when you're romancing her, this speech that she gives in the end, she basically says she did everything out of love for you. I feel like that's really sweet. But if you don't want to be with her anymore, I feel like, you know, you can't really go to Avernus with her, so you basically let her life end right here, which to me is, like, just really disturbing. Like, I hate how there's no, like, ending where Karlach can just go to Avernus by herself. Like, you have to accompany her, whether that be as a lover or as a friend, or Wyll has to accompany her, which I think he only offers if he's, if you save his dad, basically. Anyways, yeah, like, this is just depressing, and I feel like it's so messed up. Like, imagine, like, you just don't want to be with Karlach anymore, so you don't even, like, bring up the option of going to Avernus with her. I just find that so messed up. Like, this is so sad, and I hate it. Okay, next let's watch Lae'zel. So, when I was romancing Lae'zel, I was actually playing a Githyanki, so... there was a special dialogue option, which I believe you only get if you're a Githyanki, I'm not sure, but when Orpheus basically asks you to go and kill Vlaakith as his final wish, you can break up with Lae'zel basically at that moment. I guess you're not necessarily breaking up with her, but you're just saying, I don't want to go with you, so you go your own path and I'm gonna stay here. Or you can either go with her, or you can choose to ask her to stay in Faerun and live out your life there. So just to see what happens if I tell her to go her own way and kill Vlaakith and I'll stay, this is the scene that happens.
Carry my hope, carry my burden. Call my dragons, Kulos and Kuthos, and ride to the Astral Sea. Destroy Vlaakith. Release our people. Be our future and our legacy.
Duty. All my life I've traveled in its slipstream, not once questioning its path. In its service I came here. And now, in its service, I leave. I will carry your hope, Prince Orpheus, and I will carry your burden. But to that burden I must add my own. The loss of those I leave behind. Kulos! I can never forget you. Your name will be etched in our slates. You will be called Mlagir, Liberator.
So interesting in this one that Lae'zel basically leaves in the name of duty, but she does say that she'll never forget you and your name will be etched in the slate. So she clearly looks back on you fondly and she will always remember you. And the other option is to tell her to stay in Faerun with you. So I also picked that option, and then there's 2 ways to break up with her after that. So I'll show both of those dialogues right now.
I abandoned my prince for you, and for a path of our making, away from the astral. And yet I breathe all the more free. Little is lost, so much is gained. Last night will be forever branded into my memory. But now, I must think of future days. I am forever marked by Vlaakith. The Undying Queen's knights will chase me across Faerun till I draw my final breath. My life will be colored by blood red and death black. I face many battles to come, and I would ask you to join me. On my own. 1,000 wounds inflicted. And you couldn't resist opening this last one. You implore me to stay with you, only to reject me. To think I cared for such a coward. So strong was our bond, the astral sea rippled in concord. So strong is the bond's breaking, that it now shakes in turmoil. Goodbye. My first love, and my last.
So yeah, I find those really sad because I do think it is messed up if you ask Lae'zel to stay in Faerun with you and then eventually you break up with her anyways. But she does acknowledge in both cases how strong your bond is and how big of a deal it is that you guys are not together anymore. And she will remember you as like her first and last love, which I feel like is very powerful because she's basically implying that she's never going to be in love again, I guess because you hurt her so badly. At least that's what it seems to me. So Lae'zel's, I mean, it does come across as kind of bittersweet. Like she's definitely angry and she's conveying that she's angry or upset by you breaking up with her, but she also does not devalue the love that you guys shared while you shared it. Because I love that most of the characters don't just say, oh, our relationship didn't mean anything then. Like, they all still acknowledge how true the love was while it lasted. And I love that Lae'zel does that too, because she kind of strikes me as the kind of person that might get mad and be like, well, whatever then, you know, type of thing. But she doesn't do that. She still acknowledges the love. So that's very soft and sweet of her as well. But I definitely felt very guilty with Lae'zel just like hurting her because she does make it very obvious like how much it hurts her that you did this. Okay, next let's watch Wyll's.
My shining star. Since I've known you, we've shed more blood than could ever fill the Cheon-Tha. The wounds we sustained were the testament to our might. But last night, I swear to you, your touch healed every one of my bruises and wiped away every scar. Through you, I've been born anew.
A moment passes. Wyll's eyes glance up to his horns.
There's something I need to ask you. Something terrible. Something greedy. Something unreasonable. I am the Blade of Frontiers. I swore to protect the coast from the monsters that prey on it. And I know my first target, Minthara. I won't let her claim one more soul, slay one more victim. I'm going to make my way to the Hells and tear the horns right off her damned head. I want you to join me. A reasonable person would say no. I still want you to say yes. It's not about me. It's about every desperate soul Minthara will recruit to the Blood War. Every life she snuffs out on Zariel's whims. I want you to see my blade slice her wings off her back, to hear her groans as she dissolves into ash. Say you'll come. So be it. The next we meet, my blade will be stained with Minthara's blood. All I can ask then is, wait for me. If you can't, if you won't, then know this. Wherever you go, you take my heart with you. So strong is my love that not even a devil could break it.
I find it interesting how in Wyll's breakup, it's not really a breakup. He's essentially asking you to wait for him. And whether or not you do, he says that his heart belongs to you, which I think is so cute. But I do think it's very interesting that you're not actually breaking up with him. And the thing that I noticed different about Wyll's animation is that after you have this conversation and you're leaving the room, he actually turns to face you and you look back at him and you smile, which is different than all of the other animations where the character basically turns away from you and they don't look back and you don't look back as you leave the room. So I wonder if it kind of hints that there's some hope to you staying together with Wyll, even if he goes on his Minthara quest without you. Maybe it's more because he's kind of leaving you because you're choosing not to go with him, rather than, you know, you're explicitly making the choice to break up with him, but it's a little bit different. So I found it interesting. I also love how mature he is, that he requests that you wait for him, but he's not forcing anything, you know, he's not throwing a fit or anything like that. He wants to do what he needs to do. That being said, I feel like it is a little too chill and nonchalant, just like Gale's breakup. Like, I feel like he's not very emotional about it, so it doesn't feel like he cares all that much. But maybe he's just, you know, Wyll is a hopeful guy, so I'm just gonna hope that he's reacting like this because he thinks that you're gonna be with him again eventually. Okay, next let's watch Minthara.
The world wakes to a new dawn, and we are here to greet it, not as conquerors, but as saviors. No. But despite everything we gave up when we destroyed the brain, it is good to be here with you. Perhaps now we can make our own destiny. No more gods or monsters, no devils or demons to manipulate our fate. We reclaimed our freedom, though everything was against us. What would you do with it? As do I. But smile, my love. There are yet more worlds to conquer. Perhaps it is time for my homecoming. We can put the Gondians back to work, rebuild the Steel Watch, and march on the Underdark with an unstoppable army at our back, and a song of conquest on our lips. My name belongs to my mother, so our house will have a new name, your name, and the world will learn to fear it. But we can look to the future tomorrow, or the day after. Today, let us think only of ourselves in this moment. We have won a lifetime together.
And surprise, surprise, you cannot break up with Minthara. There is no option to break up with her. I love how, like, the Minthara romance, like, if you ever end up getting with her, you basically can't break up with her. Like, either you have to do some sequence of events that makes her mad at you and break up with you, but there's really no explicit action or dialogue that you can take that lets you break up with her. Like, I tried to be as, like, you know, oh, I feel so bad that we didn't seize control of the brain and see, but she's just like, well, yeah, but anyways, my love, let's go back to my hometown. It's just, like, really funny how you can't break up with her. You're just locked in for sure. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what breakups you thought were well written or which ones you didn't like, etc. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.